All right, we are back with the 146th edition of the Quarantinecast. I'm really excited for this one. I have a guest that I've had on previously. The first time I had him on, he just got signed to the UFC. He was about to make his UFC debut against Louis Kosey. It's Sasha Palatnikov. He's got a big fight coming up in 10 days, so I appreciate the time. Obviously, 10 days out, he's got weight cutting. He's got to get ready for this fight, so I appreciate the time. So without further ado, here he is. Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Sergio?
Not too bad, man. So first things first, it's been a while since we spoke. How are you doing personally, on a more personal note rather than professionally?
Awesome, man. Everything is good. Don't have COVID this time around, so feeling healthy, feeling strong, feeling ready to go, man. I'm excited for April 10.
Yeah, man. I mean, the first time we spoke, you were a week out. I mean, the nerves going into that fight had to be through the roof. I mean, it was your UFC debut. Talk about the nerves leading up to that fight and the fact that it wasn't really like a long training camp you had for that fight.
The nerves, to be honest with you, were not an issue. This is something that I guess I've just had running through my head for years and years. So when I actually got there and went through the whole experience of fight week, and then obviously leading up to the fight, felt very natural, very calm, and there were no nerves. I was more just excited to go out there and fight. But yes, it was very short notice, and it wasn't ideal in terms of the preparation. Coming off a 10-day quarantine with no training, nothing like that, COVID, and then getting that phone call with 2 weeks notice. But I've got an excellent team around me that got me ready, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that. I mean, I think that's kind of been the summary of 2020. I mean, these guys that are getting signed are in 2 weeks notice, 4 days notice. Last weekend, we had a guy that signed on 24 hours notice. So it's really about taking those opportunities for guys that were in a similar position to you. Like maybe not getting that call. What's that message?
Just keep working. Things are going to get better, I hope. So if it's not, UFC, if it's not Contender Series, there's still shows. And I was very fortunate in 2020 to, be able to fly out to Dubai and fight at UAE Warriors. So, that's there are always options. It's just about being at the right place at the right time sometimes. And, as long as you're putting in the work and you're continually growing as an athlete and as a fighter, I think the opportunities are endless. A lot of people, it's tough, man. Like, if you're not fighting it in the big shows, it's hard to, support yourself and all that. But if you have a goal, if you have a direction that you wish to accomplish, you just got to keep sticking your head down and just getting it done. And, people will start to take notice of your work. And thankfully that opportunity did come for me.
When you only have 2 weeks to prepare, was there a whole lot of film watching, or was it more something like, I'm going to go in and do my thing, and wherever the fight ends up going, it goes?
Yeah, no, not a lot of film gets watched. I watch usually a couple fights, and then I can already kind of process what I kind of expect to see from them. But again, it's what I do. It's my preparation. It's me that goes in there to dictate the fight, and in Lewis's in preparation for Lewis, he a lot of first round finishes, powerful guy, knocks people out. So there wasn't really too much else to see because he was finishing guys pretty quickly. But I had a very good understanding of the fighter that I was going to face going into the cage, and I was very confident that I would go out there and get the result. Like I said, 2 weeks is never like the most ideal amount, but I've taken fights on 5 days notice, and sometimes you just gotta nut up and just get ready and get it done. And that's something, like I said, I've been working on for such a long time. And this is a year-round sport, a year-round career. You got to be on top of yourself. You can't get out of shape. You can't unless you don't want to fight, unless you want to ruin your opportunities. You got to be on a consistent battle with yourself to be consistently in good shape. And I think even though I had COVID and everyone reacts differently to it, I was actually in pretty decent shape coming off of a fight, and was able just to get with my team and go in the mountains, hit pads, just get everything that I needed to get ready for that fight. And obviously it all paid off.
It's not every day someone gets to set a UFC record or milestone in their UFC debut. How cool was it to be able to say, you know what, I'm not just the first person to hold the Hong Kong flag in the octagon. I'm the first one to get out of there with a victory. How cool was that?
No, it's huge. I mean, that was one of the goals. I mean, I have a lot of goals, but I was happy to put a tick next to it. And that's the beauty of this. You know, I'm very fortunate to be born and raised in a place like that, and that's home. I don't know any other place. Everyone thinks like I'm like adopted to Hong Kong, but nah, that was where I was born. That was where I was raised. I don't know anywhere else as well as I do Hong Kong. You know, that's my backyard. So it was amazing, you know, to represent Hong Kong on a global stage and not only represent Hong Kong, but represent them in the best way that I could in the time that I had, and to put on a performance like that, fight of the night. Uh, yeah, you couldn't have written the script any different. I was very appreciative, very appreciative for the UFC and the opportunity they gave me. Even though going in, I knew I was the B side. I was supposed to be the guy that, you know, Lewis was supposed to get out of there. So I was just happy that, you know, I had my doubters. I had the people that didn't know nothing about me, and they ripped me off, and I love that. And you know, going into this fight now, you know, again, biggest underdog on the card for some reason, and going to be making history with the Venom kit release. We are the first fight on the night. Again, it's just more history coming up. ABC, you know, we're fighting a European headliner, so we're fighting early in the morning. So we're doing a lot of things differently, but you know, it's all adding to that list. Just keep checking it off and making history and making things happen.
You talked about being the B side. Once again, you're the underdog heading into this fight. Is that something you enjoy? It's like, you know what, just doubt me. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, my side are going to make money at the end of the day, so that's fine with me. People, I mean, last fight, some of the people that were supporting me made some good money, so I'm always appreciative of that. If people are making money backing me, supporting me, then it's always a bonus. And again, like I said, if I was just coming in as a pick'em or something, like, you know, a favorite or something like that, it wouldn't be something to be really talked about. But I am the biggest underdog on the card, so again, I'm gonna have to follow suit with what I did on the last one and come out there and upset whoever makes these odds. I'm coming for their job because they don't know what they're talking about. So they need to do their research. They probably never even fought a day in their life. So we'll see when we come April 10th. Let's see what the microphone and the call out has. Hopefully, I'll be getting a new job soon.
Speaking of that fight, I mean, Impa Kasanganay is moving down in weight class. He's a big guy. He was uh, I'd say one of the more built guys at 185, and now he's moving down. Your thoughts on fighting a guy that has that hype behind him, and what was your thoughts on the matchup?
You know, I know of Impa. I watched him on the Contender Series. You know, strong athlete, hard worker, good conditioning, powerful. But he's relatively green in the game. He hasn't been fighting for very long. It's something I know, and you know, coming off of that knockout loss, obviously, you know, that's the thing, that it's a freak. In my opinion, that's a freak landing of a spinning back kick. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen. But it really must have created a shift in his mind to say, hey, I can't handle it, or maybe I need to make the weight to 170 to where I feel strong or have an advantage. And when that phone call came, I was surprised because I was like, hey, are we fighting at 185 or 170? And my manager said, no, he's coming down to 170. I said, awesome. I'll welcome him. He's a very lean, very strong, powerful guy. So it'll be very interesting to see how that translates into 170. He's never made 170 before in his career. This will be his first time ever. Sometimes that can backfire for some people. So, hey, I've fought at 185. I've won regional championships at 185. It's nothing different. I spar heavyweights. I spar light heavyweights, middleweights. It doesn't matter. I'm actually going to be the taller fighter. Might have a little bit of reach, might be similar reach, but at the same time, I'm not too worried. I'm just more interested in what I'm going to do, and I just know as long as I'm on top of myself and making sure that I'm focused on what I need to do in there, I think I can put on a show for everybody. And like I said, Imp is dangerous. He's powerful, but he plays checkers, and I really truly believe I play chess, and that's going to be showing on April 10th.
Is it fair to say you're not going to go out there and start throwing spinning kicks like Buckley did?
I mean, I don't want to give away my secrets too early, but you know, check my Instagram post. We've been working on some stuff. So, no, I mean, look, I'm a well-rounded fighter. If the opportunity comes to land something like that, then we'll go for it. But I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeves that weren't even showcased in the last fight. I'm slowly starting to release things because look, we're fighting on ABC. There's gonna be a lot of eyes, so like you said, he's got a big following himself. People know him, so this is a perfect matchup in terms of people wanting to tune in, get some action early. And I got fight of the night in my last fight. He's got some hype behind him, so it's the recipe for fireworks. And I think April 10 is going to start off with a bang. Every time I fight, I go to war. So I think people will appreciate that, and they'll be tuning in April 10.
Speaking of ABC, I mean, it's got to be cool that you're going to be one of the first people to compete on it. It's only the second card ever on ABC. How awesome is it to say, you know what, I get to fight on ABC? Not many people have done it.
No, absolutely. As we said before, making history. So, as a kid, coming out and coming out and visiting my grandparents, we watching sports and big TV shows on ABC, huge network. It's just going to be a lot of eyes, a lot of viewers, and it's a great opportunity for us fighters to get our brand out there, get our name out there, and I think it's just awesome, to already be on a place like ESPN, which is like so crazy as it is, growing up watching Sports Center, and then now ABC. The UFC is just doing such an incredible job, and I'm just so excited and blessed to be a part of this organization, and hopefully climb my way to the top and keep representing them the way that I've been doing.
One of the unique things that UFC fighters get to do is train at the PI. As someone who's been there, describe what it's like to work in a facility or to train at a facility like that.
Oh, the PI is awesome. It's a place I'm at every day. My recovery's there. I can get my training in there. The facilities are, top of the line. Food and supplementation is free, so I'm saving a lot of money there. Like I said, before the UFC, you got to pay for all these things. You got an injury, you got to go get your therapy, you got to go get massage. All these kinds of things are all taken care of now. So it takes a lot of the stress out of this career, and the PI is a blessing. It surprises me that a lot of fighters don't make the move to Vegas so that they can be closer to the PI, because it's such a added benefit. But I see lots more and more fighters are doing it and taking full advantage of it, because without that, it's definitely a harder ball game. So no, Vegas is my home. This is where I'm going to be for some time now, at least, in the short period of time that we would with COVID and stuff like that. But this is my home base. I'm happy to be here. I love this place. And yeah, the PI has just been, like I said, an absolute blessing. Everyone that works there is amazing. Just the vibe. I just love being there. Everyone's so friendly and helpful. And that's what you would expect and hope. This is like, the UFC is the pinnacle of our sport, and it competes with the top organizations in other sports, so it's just awesome to be involved in it.
All right, I'll ask you a couple more questions and then I'll let you go. I mean, I think you're ranked right now third in terms of best picks that we have on the website. It's you, Jimmy Flick, Max Griffin. What's the secret to your success in picking fights?
I don't know. I mean, I've been in the game for a long time. I've been a huge fan. I've been following MMA since I was a little kid, and being an athlete and competing in martial arts from a very young age, I believe I have an eye for it. Especially with people that I've watched fight a lot of the times, because like you mentioned before, a lot of new names, new signings are coming in, and now I used to watch guys like when a new signing would come in, I would watch their film, watch what kind of fighter there was. That stuff excited me, and now it's just a little bit harder because I'm preparing myself for fights. I don't have the time to really keep up with the new guys coming in. But when it comes to guys that I already kind of understand and know, it's like MMA math in my head. I do a little bit of calculating, and I kind of most of the time get pretty good pretty good picks. And then plus being in Vegas, can place some bets here and there, and have a little bit more fun watching the events. And it's always a good time. And a lot of my friends overseas also seek advice, and to see them make money too is great. So yeah, I mean, I had a really rough 2020 in terms of picks. It was just so inconsistent. You didn't know who was in camp, who wasn't, with the COVID restriction. It was just such a mess. But now there's been a little bit more consistency for 2021. And I think my picks are a lot better. And yeah, just the matchups are looking good for me. So I hope I can keep going, finish on top.
You went 5-0 last week for the main card. So you're very good. You came first.
Yeah, that was cool. It's cool. I finished 9-1 on the whole card, so that was probably one of my better performances this year. So yeah, this next card, the one that I'm fighting on, I'll try to get you my picks as well before I go out there. But it's a hard card. This one, there's a lot of good fights, so it's going to be difficult to pick them. But I'm hoping at least my one is right, at least my fight. So
I guess that's the only one that matters is your fight, right?
exactly,
I'd rather go, you'd rather go 1-10, but get that one right than the other way around.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
That being said, there's a big fight coming up in your weight class, so I have to ask and we'll end on that note. Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman. We've seen it before. What's your thoughts on the rematch? Do you think it goes differently?
I mean, I hope it goes differently. The last fight, I mean, he got like 50-45, 50, he got demolished, right? But that was only on 4 days' notice. And I know personally what it's like to come off the couch. And he's not coming off the couch and fighting no bum. He's fighting the best in the world. So I really hope George does more. I know, obviously he doesn't want to have a repeat performance, but I truly believe Usman is going to get the job done and come out victorious again. He's a dominant champ, but if George can keep it off the cage, if he could stay off the ground and just stay striking, he's very dangerous for Usman. In my opinion, Usman is he's not a superior striker. He has power in his hands, but he's not a superior striker. He wants to hold you, he wants to control you. And George has that dynamic explosiveness that we've already seen in previous fights. And you've seen the Gilbert Burns fight. Gilbert hurt him. And, Gilbert's a 155er that came up. Same thing with George. George is pretty damn athletic and he's got that pedigree. So it'd be interesting. But if I had to pick, I'm still going to go with Usman on that.
All right, man. I love it. I also saw you bumped into Funky Ben Askren. How cool is it to meet him?
It was cool, man. He's a very nice guy. So it's a funny story. So my coach, my striking coach, Matthew Polino, he's based in Singapore, but he's out here with me in Vegas. We connected with each other in Hong Kong. And Ben Askren's coach, Coach O, who he was Roy Jones Jr. former boxing coach. He was also coaching in Hong Kong. So Matthew knew him in Hong Kong. Obviously, I'm from Hong Kong, and then Ben was obviously in Singapore competing with One Championship. So we've all had that kind of Southeast Asia connection. So we all linked up, and we're like, when I showed up to the PI, obviously, Asker and I have never met before, but Matt and his coach knew, so they obviously connected right there, and we were all talking. And Ben's a great guy and super nice, educated individual, and I wish him the best of luck in his fight. Actually, he doesn't even need luck because he's gonna smash the kid, but yeah, he looked good, man. We were training side by side. He was in the ring, and I was in the cage, and I was peeking over a little bit, watching him do his work. And don't let him fool you with him trolling online. Some of the work that he's been doing, pad work, he's hitting hard. He's looking good, and I'm super excited actually for the fight. I really want him to put Jake Paul in the dust. So, he's representing us MMA fighters, and two-time world champion. So I really think that Ben Askren is going to put it on him April 17th.
All right, man. I love it. Is there any last message you have for people who maybe haven't seen your fights? What can they expect from you in 10 days?
They're going to see a lot of well-roundedness in this fight. I feel like I'm going to put quite a big display of what I have in my tools, and people like striking. There's going to be a lot of that, and a lot of violence. Going out there to put a stamp on this fight. I'm sick of the underdog thing, so I'm looking just to put it away, and and when that fight comes around, I hope afterwards people love it, and then we'll keep going and keep fighting and just build that base. I've got a lot of support from the last fight, so I hope to continue that ball rolling and just bring people in, and a lot of people reaching out to me and wishing me luck. So don't be shy, reach out. You can find me on social media. My name's very unique, not many people have it. So Sasha Palatnikov MMA, Palatnikov MMA on Twitter, and same on Facebook. So yeah, feel free to say what's up. I know I'm getting closer to the fight, but I like to be communicating with my fans, especially when you throw some love my way. I feel happy to do the same. So appreciate you as well, Sergio. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, and we'll maybe see each other after the fight.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's always nice reconnecting. So best of luck, man. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Best of luck. I'm rooting for you, and
Appreciate it.
we'll talk afterwards.
Sounds good, bro. Take care.
All right, man. So there you have it, Sasha Palatnikov. Had him on before, like I said, before his UFC debut. Had him on again, and hopefully we can make this consistent. I really like catching up with him. He's a fun guy and easy guy to talk to. So stay tuned. We might do this again. If you guys haven't, be sure to check him out on Instagram and Twitter, like he said. And if you guys haven't yet, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check us out right there at fighterpath.com. And and we'll see you guys next time.